Come correct or don't come at all.
This is the Hartzog Hustle Podcast.
Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed.
And we're talking about the hustle, strategy, and mindset you need to win in the areas of your finance, your purpose, and your future.
Know what I'm saying?
If you have heart and you want to learn how to activate the power of your hustle, then this is the podcast for you, baby.
Congratulations.
And now, your hosts, Anthony and Janilka Hartzog.
This is how it should be done.
We are back with another episode. I'm trying to figure out another episode of another episode of Hartzog Hustle Podcast.
Someone's a little giggly today.
Yeah, I'm excited. Having a good day.
That's
Had
good.
some extra sleep. Excited.
What happened? What caused you? Well, before we
What
get
caused you?
started, appreciate you guys being here as always. If you are new here, number one, want to thank you for showing up. If you are a returning listener or watcher, we appreciate you as well. And I don't know if you got the review of the week, but if you don't, that's totally fine. Don't worry about it.
Ooh.
We appreciate you guys being here. And if you haven't subscribed, please subscribe. It helps us reach more people, helps us get more ratings, and it helps us get more impact, which is the most important thing. Our podcast is about 9-to-5ers. If you're looking to create more impact, influence, or income, we are the right people to speak to about that.
There we go. I love that.
So you said you got more sleep. What happened? What was going on?
I got more sleep because Alani woke up in the middle of the night and then she went back to sleep. But then once the nanny came, I'm like, I need more. That's it. I had to.
Nothing wrong with that.
And you got out the bed. You was like, it's about what time? I think it was like 9 o'clock. I'm like, child.
Time to get started.
But I don't know the last time I slept this late. So, but I'm happy we're here. We're recording, ready to show up. What's been going on?
So I'm gonna talk to you guys. I got this minor surgery done on my back, but there was a lesson here that I realized. And
About the minor surgery?
yeah,
Would you call it surgery?
yes, you go under anytime you go under your surgery.
Okay.
So I got this surgery on my back, and this is a lesson for anyone in business, entrepreneurship, relationships, or life or whatever. When you wait to fix a problem, it always becomes worse.
Ooh, bomb drop.
No bombs yet. When you wait to fix a problem, it always becomes worse. So I had a herniated disc 8-9 years ago. And the option was physical therapy. The option was doing a surgery, or the option was kind of dealing with it. So
You did physical therapy.
I did physical therapy for a while. And if you guys don't know, herniated discs, sometimes they could come back and never just leaves you. So I've always had this nagging pain in my back. And it always got worse over time, but it always went away. So it was never a big deal. I just let it go. I let it linger. And this time it came around. I let it linger. It started getting worse and worse. I went to the doctor, and he was like, all right, I see it's getting worse. If it gets to that point where it's unbearable, come see me immediately. And then we had to travel. We were going all over the world. And I'm sitting in seats on airlines for 8 hours a day each way and things like that. So it got worse and worse to the point where I had to get off a flight. Immediately since I got off the flight, I had to lay on the floor and do like
Stretches.
a downward dog, upward dog position.
In the middle, because I took some videos of that.
Oh, maybe we could. You got a video of that?
Advance? Yeah, I got videos.
So
and
I'm
pictures.
doing a downward dog and you can watch the audio. You can watch the video on YouTube if we do that edit. But I'm doing a downward dog in the airport, the dirty airport full of people are watching me. This little lady's like, this guy's stretching he's working out in the middle of the airport. I'm like, is that me? She's talking about me. Anyway,
Tell my business.
so soon as I got back, the surgery was scheduled and they did the minor incision. They put me to sleep and I feel almost like 100%. But it's going to get worse. He said, if this does not get better after this minor surgery, you might have to do a larger one. So letting little problems linger on in your personal life, on your business, can always and will always lead to bigger problems down the line. That's the gem. That's the lesson of the week. And the other lesson was when I was signing the paperwork, the surgery was $3,000. Insurance covered. We had to pay 10% of that. But I noticed the person who referred me to the location to get the surgery, he's also an owner of that location.
Saying, how is he an owner? Because it has the hospital's name on it. So it's very confusing how he's the owner. But
Could be a private
Tony was saying,
hospital.
No, it was Texas Behavioral Health, I thought.
No idea, but he is an owner. I got the name here. I don't want to put it out there.
Oh, no, it's not in their frame.
But he was the owner of it. I was like, that's also another
dope.
gem right there too. He's referring you to surgery that you're paying $3,000 for, and he's getting a huge percentage of that because he's an owner of it. So those are just some life lessons from this past week. What's your thoughts on that?
I thought it was good. I thought it was a good gem. You took something out of not a negative experience, but you made something positive out of that. So that was great.
I know I've been bothering you with this whole back thing. Like, I don't want to hear about this back thing ever again.
Do something about it. If that means surgery, nobody wants to go under. Nobody wants to have surgery, especially for fragile areas like back, knee, neck, those type of things. But if that's going to help you live a better life, then that's what we got to do.
But even so, surgery is never 100%. The goal would be to.
And then how you going to pick up Alani?
Yeah, exactly. So he's like, you'd be down for another 6 to 8 weeks. Yeah. So it's like,
you would die from not being at the gym.
It's like, all right, I got to be at the gym for a week now. So
and you can't sit in the chair and do work either, probably.
I could lay on my bed, I guess. So that's the gem. Don't let little problems linger on because they always become bigger problems. So take care of your back when you need to take care of your back.
Appreciate it. What else has been going on in our lives? This month of August is chaotic, the most chaotic we've ever had, and putting a baby involved in that makes it a bit more chaotic. We will be traveling 4 times in this month. We've got down 2 times already, 2 more to go, 2 more places to go. And one of them we'll be traveling by ourselves. So that means Alani won't be coming with us. Maybe that will be a full vacation. We shall see. But we just got back from New York. Alani got christened in New York at the church that we got married at.
Word, that was dope.
And in true family fashion, I think everybody has a celebration after the christening. It was a big party, and that was fun. Then we did a beach day with family. So we've just been going, but still showing up, okay? Still showing up here.
Before you get to your next point, the gem that I also got from the christening
was...
It was one thing my aunt said. She was like, because Janoka has a big family, if you guys didn't know, and they always show up. Mm-hmm. And my aunt came, and she was like one of my only family members that came to the actual event that we had for Alani. Mm-hmm. And she was like, listen, Tony, like, you got your own family. You grew up in this family. You did what you could. And you just gotta appreciate the family that you do have now, the family that you brought together. Because we're all born into a family, right? We're all born into a family, but the family that you get to create, that's the family that you want to nurture. That's the family you want to spend the most time with. That's the family you want to provide for because that's the family you created. Mm-hmm. That's the family you're responsible. She's like, you're no longer responsible for the family that you were born into. You got to focus on the family that you're responsible for now. So that was a gem from my own. I thought that was super helpful for me to kind of get to this next mental stage in my life.
Okay. All right. So we are here, like you said, we talk about all things, but this one is, what is the phrase that we said? Done is better than perfect. Done is better than perfect. And I feel like we've probably said this in other episodes before, but we can always reiterate it. And what triggered this was, once again, we always watch Housewives, as we say. One of our faves is Atlanta Housewives. Recently, I think it was last week's episode, Kandi and Marlo got into an argument, whatever. Marlo was being nasty, and Marlo said the comment to Kandi of, oh, you're only known in Atlanta. Now, if you know who Kandi is, Kandi Bag Burris, she's not only known in Atlanta. She was part of the group Escape. She's part of the group, and she's written songs, Bills. What's the other one from TLC? Their popular one. Scrubs, whatever. She's known, and she always has a bag. So she said a comment of, B, I'm worldwide. That's the comment she responded back to Marlo with, like when Marlo was saying, hey,
Marlo's just a character on the show. If you
not
guys,
character, child.
I'm saying because people that watch this podcast may have no idea who the hell you're talking about. She's the person on the show. Just 2 characters on the show. One is a multimillionaire, and one is just another character.
Has a bunch of businesses. Kandi has a bunch of businesses. And the next day or day after, she made merch based on the phrase, B, I'm worldwide. Next day after. It was a shirt, maybe a cup, I don't even know, but a shirt was there.
Domain was live.
And of course, people are going to buy and support. Now, there's another character on the show named Sheree, and she's been on the show, off the show, on the show, off the show, and she's supposed to be launching a clothing line, She by Sheree. And it's been literally probably 10 years for her to launch this clothing line.
Since it's been mentioned on the
show. Even Andy, one of the owners of the show, asked her in a reunion, when is it launching? She said September. This was years ago. And we say this just to say, Sheree has been launching this clothing line for 10 years. Kandi came and got something, she said a phrase, and in 2 days, she launched merchandise. yes, of course, one may say, well, it's just a shirt, it's just a cup. You can come up with that excuse if you want. But clothing lines, there's drop shipping, there's so many other ways. Sheree, I mean, we would assume she has the money and resources to get this business up and running, but she still hasn't. And so that's what brought us to done is better than perfect. Because at this point, I think that she's now she feels like Sheree feels like she's under pressure to make it perfect because she's been talking about it for so long. And she's like, once I show up and show people, it has to be the level of Gucci because I've been talking about it for 10 years. So there's no excuse, which to an extent I kind of agree, but done is better than perfect.
And we talk about this. And we talk about this all the time. So I want to even go back to our beginning stages. Like when we start telling our story about our, you got two different stories. You got the debt-free story and you got the cleaning business story. So with the cleaning business story, we talk about how we launched it in 4 weeks. Now, was those 4 weeks absolutely necessary? Probably not. We could have probably done it in 2 weeks. But we said we're going to give ourselves a 4-week timeline. We got it done in those 4 weeks. And we spent a lot of time focusing on the little things that didn't matter. So the colors, the naming, the branding, this, that, and the third. A lot of things that didn't matter in the 5-year mark of this business that no one actually says, oh my God, your colors are amazing.
Right.
Oh my God, your name is amazing. Like but when you first start, when you don't have something, you kind of want to, it's your baby. So this clothing line for her, it started off as maybe something she was going to do. It then became a part of her identity.
Yeah, that's how you know her. Yeah.
So now she probably has not even just done as better than perfect. She probably has I would say a identity complex around this brand because she's never released it. So now she thinks she's actually trying to perfect it, but she's actually procrastinating on it. But at this point. So even with us, like the cleaning business, we say all the time to our students, like just do it, put it out there and fix it as you go along.
Yeah.
It can always get better. Your first product doesn't have to be your last product.
And it won't be. Generally, it won't be. If you continue with the business, generally it won't be.
Yeah.
And that's something that we speak about in our course. Commercial break.
We have a 7-figure cleaning business. We teach you how to start a remote cleaning business without cleaning any homes. Yes. Not a single home. You don't have to clean any. Tap into the link below. We can learn how to start a 6 or 7-figure cleaning business as a side hustle outside your 9 to 5 to create passive income. Cleaning Business University. Link will be below.
Yes. So like you said, in the course, we always mention, don't worry about the color. We did that. So we telling you so you don't have to do it. Maybe the name to an extent. Don't worry about the design. There's so many little things that we worry about when we're starting a business that really makes no difference. Now, don't get me wrong. There may be some businesses where it does. Like if you're a graphic designer, how your logo looks, maybe it makes a difference. Like certain businesses, it does make sense. But when you really weigh it out for your business, whatever it is you're starting, does it? Do we really care the color when you're starting a daycare? I don't think so. You know what I mean? So start it and then perfect it. That's the whole thing. At least just start it. And like we said, when people come up with these excuses of check this out or do this, we're like, it's more procrastination than perfectionism.
Yeah.
Basically, it's more of that. And it's just unbelievable. Not unbelievable, but I'm just like, yeah, Candy's a bit more established as a businesswoman because she has so many businesses. So it probably was easier for her to say, like, just put it out there, blah, blah, blah. But at the same time, Sheree has all these resources. She has Candy as a friend, someone that can actually help her, which she has. That is frustrating that she still, like, you know, hasn't put it out. And I just think about how many of you guys are probably like that. Either if it's with the cleaning business or whatever business you want to start, that you're coming up with excuses, telling friends and family as to why you can't get started.
So another thing that I'm thinking about why you said that is that she talked about it so much that now she backed herself into a hole. Because sometimes we get these good ideas. We get these ideas that seem great to us. And we're like, oh my God, we're going to do this grandiose thing, this huge thing that we're going to do and put it out there. And then now our friends and family are waiting for it. And now we get scared because the expectation is so much higher than we thought it would be, which is why she also said, I got to bring the expectations down.
She did say that. We're like, what?
No, like the expectations been on the floor since you started because you never put this thing out.
We're going to hell with this now.
Exactly. So we're telling our friends and families these ideas that we have, but the problem is that we put it out there in the atmosphere. We never had what's the step 2? The first step was just put it out there.
Okay, yeah.
And the step 2 was what? What was the step 2? Get it done.
Get it done.
That's actually the most important step.
Get it done.
We missed the most important step in business and side hustles and family and relationships. Like, yo, it was one of my best friend's birthdays. It's like, yo, I was gonna call him. I didn't call them until a couple hours later when I could just call them when I had the idea to call them.
Oh, that'd be me.
It's like, yo, I got the idea. Just put it out there. Just do it. And let's get it over with. But instead, we want to put the idea out there. We want to pump ourselves up. Yo, I'm going to call my friend for his birthday. It's going to be lit. It's going to, just do it. Just do it. Put everything down. Just get the idea done.
It reminds me of like when I've heard people say like you procrastinate on something and it took 10 minutes. You procrastinated for 2 weeks.
Yeah.
And the thing took 10 minutes. Whatever it was, it took 10 minutes. So for those that are, that say they're perfectionists, will really, some of it they're procrastinating, what would be a suggestion to help them out of that, or how would you do differently? For someone that procrastinates, I am a big procrastinator. Okay,
so let's put some steps out there.
No, that's what I'm saying. I'm a big one. For someone that does it, having a calendar or daily routine or whatever that looks like for you has been tremendously helpful for me.
Okay,
because then I break it down. So if it's, let's go with packing, because I can't stand it. We're always doing it last minute. But lately I'm like, okay, if I could just take out the shoes today, shoes will come out Monday, makeup would be Wednesday, and then maybe by Friday I just got to put it all in the bag. Yeah. Right? So breaking it down different days and putting it on a schedule, like actually writing it on the calendar or doing it on a planner, however that looks like for you, that has been helpful for me when it comes to procrastination.
So step 1 is putting it down.
Writing it down.
I would say step 2 is putting a hard deadline.
Yeah. But the issue with the hard deadline is, I'm going to tell you as a procrastinator, is that you put the deadline and you pass the deadline and nothing happens. There's no impact. Like there's nothing wrong happens. It's just like, okay, I'm procrastinating again.
So I'll give you a step 2 and step 3 at the same time. So step 2 is putting it on the calendar.
Okay.
Step 1 is putting it on the calendar. Step 2 is having a hard date to complete the task. Step 3 is having an accountability partner or group that if I don't complete this task,
something happens.
I'm going to give you $1,000.
Okay. Excuse me, by the way, but $1,000.
Yeah,
burp. It was a baby burp.
So step 3 is having an accountability partner, so that if I don't complete this task by this deadline, I'm going to give you something that's going to affect me.
Yeah, that's going to affect me. Then
not
you get
$50 because I give you $50 all day.
Yeah.
But maybe
whatever it is for you, maybe it's 100, maybe
I gotta take you out to a nice steakhouse dinner or something like that. I don't know.
Big impact.
So something that's going to impact you, where if I don't complete this, you're getting something out of it, and it's going to hurt me. So I'd say that would be step 3. Step 1, calendar. Step 2, setting a hard date. Step 3 is accountability partner. Step 4 is on you.
Well, then I'm gonna get it done. By then, I mean, I don't want to pay $1,000. I'm probably gonna get it done. What else can you do? Breaking it up, maybe faking a deadline. That happens as well, like with at work. Like, so if it's due August 15th, really tell myself it's due August 12th. Okay. That's an option. Writing it down really has been helpful for me. I don't know what other strategies people do.
So maybe
alarms. I use alarms sometimes.
So one thing we do really well is breaking out those larger goals into smaller steps. So it's not like, all right, we're gonna release this cleaning business or this clothing brand in a month.
So yeah.
Well, it's like, all right, the month is when the release date is, but each week having a task list of things you have to complete. Yeah. And each of those smaller task lists leads into that larger goal. So if you have the larger goal is to have the clothing brand release, what does that actually mean? Does that mean the website is up, people could buy? And then by then, does it mean a fashion show? So like breaking those goals down every single week so that you know, all right, I have to do these goals to lead to the larger one, versus having that larger goal, you're never going to get there. Because you see such a large goal. Like, I want to launch this business by in a month. So how the hell am I going to get there? So breaking out every single week, the smaller tasks that you have to do to get to that larger goal, obviously be something that we do very well. Yeah. Like we want to make $1 million. Like, all right, every month you know how much you got to make, how many sales. We just had a
weekly.
Yeah, we just had a conversation about how to close out this year with $1 million business from one product, and it was all numbers. We literally said we got to reverse engineer it. So we said we got to do 12 of this. And if of each of these 12 things we do, we got to get 50 of this. Each of those 50 things got to be priced at this. Do you add this onto it? So it just came out to a numbers game. So breaking it down from the very end to what the starting is. So I would say that would be step number 5, breaking that larger goal down to smaller chunks.
Right. Yeah. So done is better than perfect. I mean, put it out there. And I think as someone that I would say that it's probably easier for us to say this because we've started or done multiple businesses. So for someone that is just starting out, I just always reference kind of like you can't compare my chapter 1 to your chapter 20, Because a lot of people that are just starting out, they're like, well, let's use some of our students that are, look at our website and stuff. I'm like, well, we're 5 years in. If you want to see what it look like year one, you know what I mean? Like, it didn't look this way. Same thing with the Target, with the Macy's, with a Disney World. They didn't start out the way they are now. Amazon, Apple, all of them, they didn't start out the way they are now. Like you said, you can revamp. You put out the product, you put out whatever it is, and you change it. There's no one stopping you from changing it. Feedback, more market research, things like that. There's no one stopping you from changing it. So done is better than perfect.
So another thing that I had thought about while you were just mentioning those big brands is that, like, Steve Jobs talked about this all the time, was like, he thought when you think about the phone that it was previously to iPhone, it sounded crazy. Yeah. You had the dial and he was like, when you think about the phone previously to the iPhone, even the iPhone was such a big hit, but the problem was people didn't understand it. It's like, how can I have a phone without, like, we had the BlackBerry, we had the Sidekick, all of our phones had dials and it had buttons, and
how can I not press?
He was like, it was a hard change to get people over to a phone that didn't have buttons on it.
And now people would be like, what?
Now you have your phone.
I don't want a button.
Yes, but he was thinking like long-term visions. All right, I'm going to change this industry to this, and then we'll worry about the iterations of that as we get there.
People will follow along.
Exactly. And Tim Cook came, and then you got the iWatch, and you got all these other things. Like, all right.
I think you had mentioned that about I don't know if it was on the Jetsons. You were saying there was a show back in the day.
Jetsons, yeah.
They were talking about the watch, like, that you could talk to it.
Yeah, Jetsons had a watch. I mean, I can't talk into my Rolex, but Jetsons had a watch that you could talk into, and it sounded absurd back then.
Yeah.
Jetsons was a cartoon from the 90s, I believe, that I used to watch. And
who doesn't know the Jetsons?
Maybe some of our younger listeners.
Oh, maybe.
But we're talking about just the long-term effects of a product. It doesn't have to be the same product it was day one. The first iPhone that came out, it looks similar to the one we have now, but they went through a bunch of iterations of the same product and changed it so what people like, so what people didn't like. And sometimes they just don't care what you like or what you don't like either. They took
you gotta be 10 toes down with that, though.
They took the headphone jack off. They said, we're not giving you a headphone jack. We're going to change the cords on you. We're not giving you
ain't
cords.
getting that in the box.
And they was like, you're going to deal with it. You're going to deal with it as a customer. So as you create these businesses or these brands or even side hustles, think about what the iteration is going to be down the line. Don't think about everything from day one. That's one of the biggest challenges.
That's the thing. We try to think about, but what if, and all these other things. And it's like, but you didn't even start yet. You don't got a what if. There's no reason for you even to think that way yet. Obviously, you want to be a savvy business owner and think through some things, but you can't think of everything.
Year 5 and year 1.
Yeah. Come on now, people.
I think in our cleaning business, I knew we would have people running it, but I didn't know to what extent. I didn't know if we'd have a person running it full time. I thought we would. We have a person running it full time. We have staff with her, and then now think about it. 5 years from today, what is it?
What are we gonna look like?
Yeah,
we need a marketer. Do we need?
Yeah. Do you need a person doing cold calls? Do you need a closer? Do you need actual W-2 employees? So. Yes, it's great to think about those things long term, but in terms of launching what you need to launch and putting out there what that initial product is, sometimes it just takes putting it out there.
Absolutely. Sorry, I was trying to hold back a cough. Absolutely. But once again, anything else to add to that?
No, I think we had some heavy hitters. I think that was it.
Some great gems in there. I'm thinking about the last episode. And I was like, everything is not a gem.
So let's recap. So we said, if you are a person and you want to remember that done is better than perfect. So step 1 was putting it on your calendar. Writing it down.
Somewhere. If it's the calendar, if it's the whiteboard, if it's your fridge, wherever you'll see it.
Yep.
Your phone alarm.
Step 2 was...
That was yours.
Step 2 was putting a hard date on it. So having a due date on a task.
And step 3 was having an accountability person so that if you don't do it, then you got to do something that makes you uncomfortable. If it's money, if it means going to the gym, if it means whatever it is that you have to do, then do that.
Yep. Step 4 was breaking down that larger goal into smaller chunks.
Yes.
So that each week, if you know you got to complete this in 4 weeks, having it broken down week by week so you don't have this large goal at the end.
I think that was all the steps.
Step 5 was just getting it done.
And done is better than perfect. That's what that's what it was. But once again, thank you guys for joining us. Please make sure to subscribe, to share, to listen, to write us a comment. We love reading them so we can highlight our listeners on the show. We will say your name and share it out to everyone. Watch us on YouTube. If you're not subscribed there, let us know what else you want us to discuss about. I think we hit on a lot of different topics, but if there's anything that we're missing, please let us know as well.
And also, if you have a tip for procrastinators or people that need to get things done,
Write it in the comments.
Drop it in the comments. Let's talk about it. Let's see how we can help people. Something that we miss. We can't think of everything. So,
all right.
Appreciate you guys being here. See you next week on another episode of the Hartzog Hustle Podcast. Peace.
This has been an episode of the Hartzog Hustle Podcast. We hope you enjoyed. Be sure to rate and review this podcast on your favorite listening platform. And follow Anthony and Janilka on Instagram at The Hartrimony. That's TheHartrimony. Keep hustling, baby. Keep hustling, baby.
Get that money. Get that money.